Fuck. Alright everyone, welcome to Chapter 2 of Elsewhere High. I actually played the first chapter for last year Halloween, so I thought it'd be perfect to continue on with the story. I've forgotten everyone's names, I've forgotten the majority of the story. All I remember is at the end of the last chapter, because it was a really long build-up, we were sort of learning the characters, why we were going to this Elsewhere High school, or whatever it is. I know our character was a dick, he bullied someone. I forget if they killed themselves or not, but yeah, he was sent here because he was an absolute douche. And we went out for a walk and we got chased away by some creature. So, yeah, we're going to start the chapter 2 and hopefully, we learn the story of what's really going on. And also, heads up, this might look weird because I couldn't get Bandicam, which I use to record desktop now, to lock on to the game, so I'm recording on screen mode, which is just recording my desktop, so if it looks weird, that's why. But anyway, let's jump in. Best enjoyed with headphones. Ooh. Oh, that nice bloody jump scare. With the morsel of strength that Matthias could uncover in himself, he pushed the door of the shed closed and basked in the victory of sharp thud. Oh, there we go. Can I do enter? Hang on. He leaned against it for a moment to steady himself and his breath, but quickly lifted his shoulders up and dragged his body away from the shed. His breath came quickly and loudly. Yeah, I can use enter. What? He could barely speak. His words were swallowed by the same gales of breath that pushed him out. Shit. The cuts and bruises stretched themselves with each movement and danced at the touch of cool air. I'm just going to turn it down a bit, Aeon. In the middle of the grass, Matthias stopped and gripped his side. His face winced, but drew substantial breath and continued his trudge towards the dorms. The injuries revealed themselves with each subsequent step. My shin. My thigh. My side. My shoulder. Surely Matthias was broken and more than frightened, but somehow found the drive to move forward. Almost. His body crippled, contracted and spat out a wad of phlegm and blood. At the sight of it, Matthias let out a deep, fearful moan and his eyes widened. His bones began to tremble. He dragged himself across the asphalt and soon neared the entrance of the dormitory. So did we get attacked? I can't remember. For a moment, Matthias lost his strength and leaned against the wall for support. The rigid texture punctured his wounds and caused him to squeal. Okay. He coached himself. Okay. He was standing. The wall gave him rest. He was conscious. Just a bit. He remained standing but closed his eyes. He tried to imagine rest, but no forced thoughts could snuff out the pain or the immediate memory of what he had seen. What? There was no point to make sense of anything. That would come later. Matthias picked himself up, walked into the building and headed for the stairwell. Weeks before. We're probably going to learn what he did. Matthias sat hunched in the back seat of his father's car. He slid his body far enough down the bench that he could no longer see his father's intermittent glances at him in the rearview mirror. They stung. Even now that he was older, Matthias felt nostalgic calm for his father's gaze. That is, during a normal car ride. During his ride, however, they weren't random gestures of care. They were plotted, organised stares that burned into his forehead. Matthias could feel the back of his arms beginning to melt against the synthetic materials that shaped the seats. It was hot, but despite the discomfort, Matthias allowed them to tighten their grip to each other. If he moved, his stretched skin would surely make a noise as it peeled away, and in the pin-drop silence, the smallest sound would be righteous and intrusive, and then the stare would come. I didn't mean to. I didn't think. Dad, I promise I would never. His words never made it to the ball of his throat, but instead choked somewhere in the makeup of his mind and bounced around haphazardly. Oh god, I'm butchering everything. I don't even remember. Are you sure that he was... Dad, what if we talked to... While I was altogether smothering, Matthias did his best to find an odd comfort in the situation. It was common for Matthias to slouch in the back seat of his father's car at the time of night. His father worked as something of a repairman and would often bring Matthias on his late night runs. In fact, his father owned a business that supplied everything from restaurants to convenience stores with what his father called the cool-down crowd. Matthias smiled at the unsophisticated branding. The cool-down crowd. In actuality, they were air conditioners, ice machines, and anything that produced cool. Matthias and his father hated the heat, or at least that's what Matthias had been told. His attention was drawn upwards, and, on cue, his father reached for a handkerchief and dabbed away the sweat that had gathered at his furrowed brow. Kalinti? He let out a low growl, reached for the knob that directed the air conditioning and cranked it upwards. You know I'm going to look like this soon, his father stated. It shouldn't take this long to cool down. For a moment Matthias was encouraged to think that perhaps his father had settled, but upon surveying his posture and his tight, white knuckles bracing the steering wheel, he figured his father was just speaking aloud to himself to fill the air. Matthias sat back and imagined that they were on one of their late-night ventures. It was calming and familiar. I've told you this before, right, Matthias? That people ask me how to fill a room with cold air. Matthias, sorry, I've read that wrong. He let go of the steering wheel for a moment to make a grand gesture with his arms. What they don't know is that the room is already filled with heat. Heat is there. He fumbled for a word. His accent was thick and rich. The standard, you know. Heat comes from everywhere. The ground, the waters, the sky. And so, to fill a room with fresh, cold air, you first need to push away the heat. He would normally punctuate such a sentence by saying, "Isn't that right?" or something of the sort, but he left the statement hanging in bare. Matthias wasn't sure if he was looking for a response. His voice, normally lively and voncular, was now rather quiet. Matthias could taste his disappointment. Papa? And they always think it'll be instant, you know? They always expect the heat to just disappear. But no. He waved his finger in the air. No, heat is tricky. Heat likes its home, likes its place, and that's fine. He shot Matthias another one of his looks. This time Matthias didn't look away. Papa, when you were just a boy, running up the Shiro in oh god, I'm sorry. Valparaiso? He let out a deep sigh. You'd always stop and say, Papa, it's too hot. Mai caliente. And so I would pick you up, if you would let me, and I'll tell you that perhaps the cold will come and ask the heat to leave. And I said that maybe it would listen if it asked politely. This situation, I used to show you how to use your manners. His voice became low and desperate, fraught with disappointment. And I said, the cold will ask nicely, but it will never force. It will only ask. He shook his head and kept his closed eyes on the road. Matthias tried to insert himself into the conversation, but he could not find an entrance. His father's sullen voice kept him away. And so what did we do? His question was neither pointed nor direct, but after a few moments of silence he jerked his body towards his son and tried to catch his gaze in the mirror. Hey, son? What? What did we do? What do you mean? Well, are we still there? Are we still in the heat of Valparaiso? Still down the sun of Chile? No. He kept his voice meek. Right, so what do? We moved. That's right. We moved. We didn't scream, we didn't shout. We didn't show the heat our fists. We decided to leave. I can see the moral. You chose not to leave the heat. You stayed. Matthias threw his head into the back of his seat. Papa? He received no answer. Dad? This time he was more forthright, but as he continued he softened his tone. I didn't. There was a mistake or something. His father left room for him to speak, but Matthias had nothing else to say. Were the cameras lying? Were my eyes lying to myself? I don't know. I don't know. But I never have I ever been in a fight before. Do you really think I would do something like that? Of course not, Matthias. And this is why I am disappointed. Dad, I never even talked to that guy before. And what about the other? His eyes glared at him in the rearview mirror. I know that they are different, but you cannot demand things like that you do not like to leave. Matthias did all he could to stop himself from screaming in frustration. Dad, it's different here. It's not the same as back home. I don't care if someone is gay, Papa. Why would I care about that? There's gay people everywhere. His father's voice grew louder. Everywhere is the same. Don't let anyone fool you. Some places are warm and some are cold, but each place you go you will see that everywhere is the same. Each person is the same as the next. The sky is all one. His voice cracked for a moment, but I rubbed an open hand over his mouth and tried to regroup. And that boy? Is it Matthias or Martius? Because I've been saying Matthias and all that. Sorry if I butchered it. He was hurting. He needed help, but instead you joined in. Papa, I didn't. I'm telling you there was a mistake. There is a mistake on the cameras. He spat the sentence out forcefully. There was a mistake with the eyes of everyone who saw. It is finished. It was rare for his father to pronounce his name like that. It felt so distant. All the arrangements have been made. Everything is done. He let out a weighted sigh. Of course I wish it were different. If you could prove yourself, of course I wish you could. But I cannot believe it. They saw what you did. I am angry and scared. But I still love you. Of course you know that. He waved his hand, dismissing his last point. We were almost there. They had been driving for hours, it seemed. I've been trying to avoid saying the name so you guys don't get frustrated for pronouncing it wrong. I'm going to say Math. Math rearranged himself in the seat and tried to find a more comfortable position that accommodated his pronounced slouch. What about Mum? There was silence. I don't get to see her? His father searched for words. They send you home in the summer. You can see her in the summer. She'll be back by then. She is just staying in Chile for an extra week or two. She comes home soon. Math was tentative to believe his father even though he carried his voice with an obvious certainty. Of course there was an infinite amount of things that Math wanted to say, but in that moment they all felt rather immaterial. This sense of hopelessness was new to Math. He had never before found himself feeling so desperately alone. The passing streetlights illuminated the body of the car in a traceable rhythm. Matt turned his head and looked out to the street. Swallowed in night, its only escape the swath of fabricated and tasteless yellow lights. What an ugly colour. Matt could usually find the beauty in things, however difficult it was to uncover, but in that moment the light struck him as garish and intrusive. He closed his eyes, knowing that he would not find rest, and tried to relax. This is it. He decided to keep his eyes shut. He could hear his father turn towards him. This is it. Come on. Matt could feel his muscles turn heavy. Beside him his father stood holding his backpack. He held it out towards Matt for him to take. After he did, Matt lifted his legs, turned them outside the car and then rested his elbows atop his knees. Here, get up. I need you to show you something. After some time, Matt lifted his body up and out of the car. Papa? His father raised his hand and shook his head. He pointed down the road. Just a bit further along the road. Matt tightened his face and met his eyes with his father's. You can't drive me? I'll turn back here. It isn't far. His father's throat became tight. I'm sorry. He opened his arms, turning his spacious chest into a welcome place. Matt fell into it and limply wrapped his arms around his father. Tears fell from both of their eyes, and yet neither of them made a single sound. The chilled air of the night embraced them both. His father stepped back with his hands at Matt's shoulders and soft gaze in his eyes. You will be well there. He smiled. I love you. I love you too. With that, his father returned to the driver's seat, adjusted the rearview mirror and drove their car away. Matt kept his eyes fixed on it until it was swallowed by the inky dark. Even then he stared at the point where it disappeared into. He tried to swallow the pit in his throat, but fighting it just strengthened its presence. His backpack hung from one of his shoulders and he loosely rolled it upwards to better secure it. Soon Matt let his eyes fall to the ground and gathered to the resolve to study his surroundings. It's just a road. What? He darted his head back and forth. Which way was it again? He took a guess and began to walk. Is it far? Matt rarely spoke loud to himself but found confidence in his voice. I don't mean to be a buzzkill, but we kind of did this already. I kind of want to just get into the story. There hadn't been a time in his life when he'd been truly independent, and so now that he was his own leader, he used himself as his guide. There's a sign. He upped his pace from a near stage when able to slow walk. Matt was not in a hurry. It wasn't long until he could see that the sign was hung to indicate a bus stop. With little confidence, Matt decided to wait there. This should be it. The pole was old and rotten, and softened wood allowed Matt's body to sink as he leaned into it. The wood moaned under the weight on his shoulders. If it falls over, at least I'll have a story to tell. The unsettling sounds of night were all that kept him company. It's cold. He gripped his shirt and wrapped around it tightly himself. With nothing to pass the time, Matt closed his eyes and waited. He hadn't fallen asleep, but the noise was so abrupt that his muscles seized an immediate recoil. A school bus towered in front of him. The doors opened not to a driver beckoning him on him, but to a dark and unwelcome set of stairs that led into an equally discouraging corridor. Matt looked back down the road, hoping to find his father's car lit up in the distance. His head fell and it remained dropped as he climbed the stairs onto the bus. Oh, come on. We've already seen this in Chapter 1. Because I'm just gonna breeze through it, because I feel like we've done this already. Yeah, the girl that we met in Chapter 1. Yeah, Sophie. Alright, we're back in. Matt threw himself on bed knowing that even the soft landing would send rippling pain throughout his frame. Grabbing hands full of sheets fabric, he pulled himself towards the wall and warmed his way up with it with a shoulder that wasn't bruised and tender. He slowly slid his shirt off him for himself, trying his best to work the slack around the painful areas. As he brought his hands to his hips with the intention of rolling his undershirt up over his body, he quickly abandoned the area. It was tight and hugged his torso in places that were clearly injured. No. He tossed his head backwards in frustration, then placed 2 fingers in the tear near the top of his ribs. His skin was hot as he exhaled quickly and deeply. He felt tighten around his muscles and bones. So they must have got attacked. Oh no, he fell, didn't he? And they left him behind? If I remember. He knew exerting strength in any way would be painful, but after a few moments of gathered concentration, he braked himself and pulled. I'm just going to save it before we go ahead, just in case, I get a crash. Take it easy. ... Oh, ... shit ... Now bare, Matt took a moment to assess himself. There was a deep cut across his back, and bruises throughout his abdomen. Shit. Okay. He sunk lower into the bed and tried to calm himself. I just gotta rest. Surprisingly, it came quickly. Oh, jeez. Matt jerked awake, his body dripping in sweat. What? He couldn't remember dreaming. How long? He began to reach for a watch that he kept in the nightstand next to him before remembering that the battery had died not long after his arrival to Elsewhere. Ugh. He let his arm fall and thump onto the top of the stand. His stomach let out a loud growl. Gotta eat. With a slow turn, he tried to raise himself from the bed, but instead discovered that his entire body was stiff and his muscles completely seized. Ugh, oh my god. Oh my god, damn it. Matt could feel that his skin had become warmer than before and it ached at the touch of anything. His head pulsed and he felt a nausea like never before. You probably got a fever now. I'm gonna puke. Steadying himself for the coming pain, Matt turned his body towards the edge of the bed and allowed it to contract. The sensation knocked his breath from his body. His ribs were swallowed by knotted and swollen muscles and a sharp stone pain trailed down his spine to the top of his legs. The vomit splattered across the floor, shooting every which way. Oh my god. His breath couldn't come quick enough. Soon the stench became thick and overbearing. He tried to push out words loud enough to call for help, but his lungs were shriveled. Help. He didn't have the strength to cry. Soon rest took him once again. This time he woke much more calmly. As conscience eased its way back into his mind, Matt could feel something at the edge of his bed near his feet. What? He rolled his neck upwards and saw that a plate of food was placed there. As quickly as he could, Matt inched his way towards it. It was piled high with chicken thigh, sweet potato and some sort of green that Matt wasn't familiar with. It was delicious and altogether satiating. The fats of the food smeared themselves across his face as he pushed the more substantial parts into his mouth, and as quickly as he could, he let out a deep moan. And then, while he was still eating, Matt caught a whiff of a rather intrusive smell. It was fresh and had heavy aromas of citrus. He studied his room and looked over the edge of the bed to see his floor washed clean. What? While his strength was still constrained and his body still weak, Matt drew a breath and spoke as loudly as he could. Hello? There was no response. Miss Dupont? Again, nothing. Miss Dupont! During his last attempt, he pushed himself too far and felt the effect in the stinging in his ribs. A glass of water sat on his nightstand and it took him no time to gulp it down. He had no way to gauge how long it had been since his altercation, but what he did know was that his body was unmistakably calling for more rest. It came without fight, as soon as he closed his eyes. This time he did dream. It was foggy and vague, but he dreamed nonetheless. In it he stood in a room that housed large, heavy objects that were wholly nondescript and dwarfed him indiscriminately. What is this place? Even though they were still, the objects terrified him. Their very being imposed on him and forced him into a panic. As he stood stoic, Matt could feel a sudden rise in temperature. The air became thick and pressed against his skin. With the hot air came an altogether foreign sensation. He felt an alien force flow through him, take command and control of his muscles, and lift his arms high above his head. Stretching his palms open, Matt felt as though his limbs were elastic and extended far beyond their natural reach. Instead of truly expanding, his hands sent energy outwards that pushed the objects away with a daunting force. With this new, invisible appendage, Matt thrusted his arms in and out and set into action these waves of energy that pushed away the towering blocks. He felt his face flushed with the realization of his power. And then he woke up. He was startled awake upon regaining his sight. He felt the same energy from the dream surrounding him. He took a moment to let it pass. It didn't. Matt looked at his hands. What? He shook them violently as if he tried to rid them of a strange sensation. What is this? Pressing his hands to his abdomen, Matt poked in various places to see if his muscles were still tender or torn. They were, but much less than before. Let's try. He rolled over to prop himself up with his hands, and his leg fumbled over the edge of the bed. The first one reached the floor, and he began to steady himself on the second. As he did, he stumbled and instinctually shot out an arm to find his balance. Ooh! With the sudden thrust came an expulsion of energy. It shot from the tips of his fingers and in its weight caught the glass of water that sat on his nightstand. It hit the wall behind it and shattered. Oh, don't do that. Matt brought his hands in front of his face and studied them. Front and back. He ran them through his hair. No. For some reason, Matt began to chuckle. I'm going insane. Tears ran down his face as he laughed. I'm going insane. Papa, do you see this? He calmed himself and then found comfort once again by laying in his bed. I'll just get some more rest. But he couldn't. His mind was too astir to sleep, and whenever he closed his eyes, his thoughts would remind him of his overwhelming presence that surrounded him. It's heavy. He sat up swiftly. He turned his hands and studied them again. There's no way. He shook his head to himself. There's no way. Matt reluctantly limped towards his bedroom door and slowly turned the doorknob. It clicked open and he let the door prop itself slightly ajar. He turned away from it, took a few steps back and then positioned his body towards it once again. He took a deep, thoughtful breaths. This is stupid. He raised his arm slowly towards the door, remaining mindful and aware of the energy that fought for his attention. With his elbow bent slightly, Matt pulled his arm back, waited for a few moments, focused, then pushed it forward. An altogether invisible force left his body in the direction of his arm and sped towards the door, slamming it shut. Matt stood as still as stone. No. He lurched his arm forwards again and the energy left him once more, this time meeting a closed door. The wood creaked against the pressure. No. He smiled, cried, twisted his body this way and that. His thoughts were gibberish and his actions were impetuous. Gotta get out of here. He grabbed his clothes, threw them on as quickly as his limited movement would allow, and limped out of the door. Out of the building. And down the road, away from the campus of Elsewhere High. That was the intro? Holy crap. Saving it. Hang on. We'll let it get to the next scene. I got a trophy. Or an achievement. There's Derek. Run! Sophie and Vincent stood frozen. Their muscles hugged their bones in vice grip and locked them in place. They could hear Derek calling to them as he fled. Oh, that was a different person! That wasn't the same character! Vincent? She moved her eyes, not her head, to study him. He was still. Vincent? Derek's footsteps were inaudible now. The monster howled. Vincent, we need to run. His chest heaved up and down as he raised his hands slightly. If we move quickly, we might startle it. Their mouths were stiff as they spoke and tears ran freely down Sophie's face. If we don't move quickly, it might kill us. The creature lifted its chest and slammed the asphalt with one of its stumped arms. Vincent. He reached his arm towards her and took a small step into her direction. With a jostle of his wrist, Sophie saw that he was beckoning her. Just grab my hand. They spoke nearly in a whisper now. Sophie looked to him and then to the creature, who didn't approach her but was hostile and fierce, and acquiesced to his suggestion. Wow, that was a mouthful. She straightened her arm towards Vincent and inched his way. Her heart danced to a violent tune in her chest while the surface of her skin, a thick layer of sweat, had formed. Soon their fingertips touched. Vincent's skin was hot and sweaty, much like hers. At the touch, he opened his hand further and wrapped it around Sophie's. She could feel his heartbeat between his fingers. Okay. He lowered himself. On 3. Sophie eyed him nervously. Okay. She felt him press his index finger into her palm. A pause and then his middle one. He's counting. With the press of his third finger, both of them lunged away from the creature and ran as quickly as they could. Even though their arms were flaying in a hazardous frenzy, their hands remained clenched together. Behind them they heard the wailing of the monster and Sophie tried to get enough breath to speak. Is it? Just run! The thought of being alone terrified both of them. Sophie followed Vincent to his room and tried to calm her breath. The two of them lay curled over the duvet on Vincent's bed and for a long stretch of time remained silent. It was Vincent who spoke first. Are you okay? Sophie's breath had yet to slow. What do you think? I mean, you're not hurt, right? She didn't answer him and instead slipped into her chaotic thoughts. What the hell was that thing? I don't know. What the hell is wrong with this place? She began to cry and Vincent reached his hand out to hers. Her breath was sharp and stuttered. We're fine though, it's okay, we'll figure it out or something. He fumbled through his words and let a loose, deep exhale. Hey, listen. Listen. He put one of his hands on her cheek and waved for her eyes to open. Tell me something. Tell me something nice about back home. Tell me about the porch. She wiped her face and gathered herself. Oh shit, I don't know. Back home, I live in a really big house and we have one of those porches that wrap around your whole house. There's a word for it, but I forget it. Her breath slowed but still skipped over the tears. And we have one of those porch swings. That's one of those really old kinds. The house is super new. My parents built it, but they got this old wooden swing. They were all about how shit looked. They probably saw it on one of those stupid websites. Anyways. She laughed pathetically. Not much of a story, I just like the swing, that's it. Vincent tried to smile at her. Well, what did you like about it? It was just relaxing. I don't read much, but when it did, I did it there. Or when I was pissed or just wanted to do nothing. It was really versatile. Accommodating is the word I was thinking of. She shot him a harsh glance. Sorry. I can speak for myself. He softened his face. I'm sorry. So what happened to the other guy? I completely missed it. I was blown away. I didn't realise the character we had was a completely different person. It's fine, and what about you? What about me? Well, I gave you a story. Spill the tea. He tried to regress into a calm laughter. I don't know, there's not much to tell. Then make something up. What? Well, that would be almost as stupid as saying you don't have any stories from back home. I have stories, just none that I like to tell. So what? Your family was broke? Your parents beat the shit out of you? Uncle touched you when you were little? Oh, he wishes. Right, so your childhood was shitty. I guess. I mean, that's the only reason you could have for not having a story to tell me. Or that I just don't want to talk about it. You'd rather think about what's going on here? Vincent was annoyed at Sophie's obtrusive advance, but he stopped to consider her alternative. The light hair on his arms rose and he covered his face with his hands. His voice was low and flat. What the hell was that thing? She paused and thought. Should we tell anyone? Vincent's face remained covered. Sophie wondered if he was crying. Like who? I don't know. DuPont? Killian, maybe? And what's Jubal going to do when she finds out that we left campus? He was nearly yelling at her and Sophie recoiled. Oh, sorry, I'm just... a bit tired. Yeah, I didn't think of that. She balled up a fist. Shit. She reached out to Vincent and uncovered his face. Maybe we could try to use our phones, call our parents or something. Vincent stared at it blankly. I know it hasn't really worked before, but we could try. Or we could just lay here. Sophie was so... Oh, God, I don't know why I've just started going into a yawn spasm. Sophie was silent for a moment and then gave him a worried look. And do nothing? Just lay here and rot. What the hell? Vincent's eyes were directed at Sophie, but they were empty and his gaze sat elsewhere. Maybe rot isn't the best word. He snapped out of his trance and sat up quickly. His arms and head draped low over his knees. With stiff movements he took a deep breath and ran his hands across his face. I'm gonna go outside. What? It's hot in here. So open the window. The window is open. The moonlight spilled in through the gaping window frame. Still, she spoke in a pleading tone rather than an intrusive one. Sophie couldn't bear the thought of being alone. I just need to get out for a sec. Well, I'm staying in here. There's no way in hell I'm going back outside. I can't see why you are either. Just need some air. Oh, so we've been sitting out here? Oh, are we choosing who to see with? See, I think I was favouring Sophie a lot. Let's do Vincent. Yeah, I'll just do a quick save. The air was refreshing and crisp, and the night lay in absolute slumber. Around him, not a sound could be heard. After a moment, Vincent reached into his back pocket and pulled out a flattened and bent cigarette. He sighed and looked at it sitting limply between his two fingers. Ah, shit. Whatever. Inside of his other pocket was his lighter. He retrieved it, struck the wheel, and lit the cigarette with a deep, satisfied inhale. The smoke plumbed into a translucent cloud in front of him. Against the backdrop of endless black, the white smoke was somehow comforting. He took another drag and let the fumes fill his chest, and calmed him. As he pushed out the breath, the door beside him slid open. Oh, hey! Oh, I think I remember you! Oh, hi, Ash. She motioned lazily to his cigarette. Didn't you quit? Yep, this is my last one. He dusted off the gathered ash. Nice. Share? You smoke? She just shrugged and reached her hand out. He passed it to her. She took a quick puff and gave it back. A small cough followed her breath out. It's been a while. And Kill's cigarettes are shit. That's where you get them from? Where else? Ash nodded. They both stood looking away from the building into the night. So what are you doing up? Vincent nearly laughed. Tell her the truth, because it's a bit stale. I need some kind of action going on. Just couldn't sleep. Yeah, something happened. Guess you could say that. Want to share? Not really. That's fair. She crossed her arms under her chest and leaned more heavily against the wall. And you, what are you doing up? Was just going for a walk. What time was it? No idea, but my sleep schedule's messed up. No kidding. Is there something keeping you up? Other than my brain? Vincent nodded and tried to calm his understanding. They stood in silence for some time. Hey, could I ask you something? She posed it more like a statement. Sure. Why are you here? I mean elsewhere. What landed you here? Just skipping class? You flunked. He finished off his cigarette, snuffed it against the wall, spit on the end and returned it to his back pocket. Saving that for later? I throw it in the trash. I don't really want to get caught if they find a butt on the ground. You think they don't look through our trash? She shot him a sly smile. Vincent didn't know how to respond. I didn't flunk. They flunked me. My grades were high, but my attendance wasn't high enough to pass me. Like that's a thing. So they just said, screw you, you're done. Well, they gave me a chance, I guess. Asked if I was going to start coming to class. I said hell no. Why the hell would I? But you're good about coming to class here. Well, that's what love does to you. Ash gave him a confused, almost disgusted look. What? You mean Sophie? I didn't mean it like that. Shit, dude, dropping L-bombs at 3 a.m? I was not ready for this. I didn't mean it like that. Hey, I'm not judging, she's pretty hot. And more. Vincent turned his head away. You swing that way? Ash shrugged. Girls are pretty. And dudes? I'm like a Kinsey too. That's awesome. I guess it's boring to be a zero, eh? Just means you're missing out on half the fun. Vincent smirked at her, then jutted his head toward her. Now your turn. What landed you at this beautiful institution of ours? A cat fight. What? Seriously? Yep. She had it coming. I guess. Man, I just wanted to knock the bitch out. Yeah, you're kinda nuts. Diagnosed. She raised her index finger to her temple and gave it a couple of taps. Huh? He wasn't sure how to navigate the conversation now that it had become so personal and, in turn, undeniably awkward. Well... She picked herself up from the wall and gave a loose stretch. Guess I'll do over the walk tonight, try to get some sleep. Vincent was grateful for the moment of relaxation, but the stress of the night suddenly poured back onto him. Hey, Ash. You? Where do you usually go for these walks? Just around. Why? Vincent nodded to himself and thought carefully about what he said next. You've never left the campus or anything, right? What? No, holy hell, I'm not that crazy. He bit his lip and looked into her acknowledgement. She turned away from him and threw her hand upwards. No. Yeah. With a weighted breath, Vincent closed his eyes and rested his head against the wall. Once again he dug through his back pocket and received a cigarette. Last one. He smoked it slowly and thoroughly, basking in his time alone. Of course he wanted to return to Sophie, but the solitude was undeniably refreshing. He didn't hurry back. Sophie laid waiting so eagerly on the bed she was armed with something to say. Listen. She intended on being harsh, but re-evaluated her tone at the sight of Vincent's slumber posture as he re-entered his room. I just talked to Ash. She said she saw you smoking. Look, I know we're scared out of our minds, but when you say you're going to do something, you should do it. Vincent hardly acknowledged her, just sat on his chair and began to take his shoes off. I mean, if you say you're going to quit, you should quit. It's not cool and they make you stink. Aye? Is it alright if I get changed? Sophie, now sitting up, was not enraged by his interruption as she had expected to be. She rolled her shoulders casually and nodded unaffected, trying to mask the sudden rush of blood that gathered in her cheeks. That's fine. Vincent stood and undid the top buttons of his shirt, and once it was loose enough, instead of continuing, he simply lifted it above his head and let it fall to the floor. Sophie wasn't sure where to look. And you should pick up your clothes once in a while. What are you, his mother? I just usually get distracted. Vincent reached out to his waist and undid his pants, pulling him off with his socks. He fumbled around on the floor looking for some article of clothing. Sophie studied him as he did. Bent over, he revealed his chiseled shoulders that led into the deep pockets of his collarbone. His arms were lean and smooth, and she watched his tricep balled up and poked at his skin each time he bent his arms. Vincent's back was long and was guided by his spine that made it really need to... Such detail. At the base sat his small waist, and in the middle two highlighted dimples that led to... Where the hell are they? Guess I'm wearing my jeans. He slipped his pants on, snaked around Sophie and laid his body across the bed. Sophie still sat on the edge, her desires drumming clearly in mind but not the courage to match. Are you going to sleep here? Are they going to do it? He asked calmly and politely. His usual voice with the biting arrogance was gone, at least for now. What happens to the other guy? It's just... It feels weird that they don't really acknowledge him. I think so. Without much thought, she picked her feet up and curled her body around to his, placing her head at his waist. She rested her hands on his sides and then slid around to his back and embraced him tightly. His skin was taut and his body warmly. I'll close my eyes. Kissing me this. Sophie stretched her neck upwards and softly kissed Vincent above the waistline of his pants. Her nose and lips pressed against his skin, and she could feel his body tense as he placed a hand on top of her bald head. She lifted her body, kissed his stomach, then his chest, then rolled her head towards to meet his gaze and let out something of a nervous laugh. She studied his lips and leaned forward, eyes closed. Their lips met gracefully. They're soft. Her heart raced in her chest. As Vincent placed his hand on her waist, her first instinct was to swat him away. But he didn't wander or grab. His palms sat there, warm and comforting as she pulled her face away from him, slowly letting their bottom lips peel apart gradually. His eyes smiled at her and she looked away blushing. That was nice. Yeah. She fell back into his lap. And they did it! Oh my god. I'm sorry. No, it's... I just noticed. The pants are they're loose. He waved the fabric at the edge of his pants to illustrate his point. No, it's my fault. She turned away from him. Ah, shit. He threw his body off the bed and quickly closed the tinted window. The darkness was sharp and brutal. Vincent? No, listen. She felt him scurry back onto the bed and roll his body over to the wall. I'm not trying anything, just... He reached his arm out to her and guided her hand to his body. Lay down. Sophie's eyes still fed her nothing. Her voice was high and worried. What? Hold me. That's so romantic. Hold me. Her heart nearly stopped. His body. With a fine sense of her confidence, Sophie slid her body into his side and used her grip on him to pull herself close. Her hand skated around his body and she rested her chin in the nook of his shoulder. A deep sigh escaped her. "You're so hot." She couldn't find the right words. "You're beautiful." He let the words sit. Sophie heard them before from him, but the way they sounded this time made her think that perhaps she had never listened. "Vincent?" He turned his shoulder back towards her. "We can be together, if you want." Instead of offering a response, Vincent gripped Sophie's hand delicately and guided it across around his body, pulling her close. He led it to his mouth and kissed it lightly. She could feel him smiling. "Let's try to get some sleep, Sophie. Maybe we can check on Derek in the morning." "I was going to say, what about Derek?" She nodded on the bed of his shoulder. "Okay. Good night, babe." I don't know if I should upload this for Halloween. It doesn't feel... I mean, I know the first chapter was quite a build-up, and then we had the boss... not the boss, the creature, but... Yeah, I don't know. It just... I feel like I should just upload this separately. Her throat was choked and bored. She nodded once again. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm all for character development, but... I want some creatures, man. Oh, finally, Derek. And I forgot your name. God, I was getting a bit with all that softy mushy. Toby? Actually, I want to save it. Yeah? Toby sat nervously, but I want to see these two more. I want to, the adventures, like maybe they're going to search for something. Toby sat nervously, but alert on the edge of Derek's bed. He wanted to be forthright and ask Derek what was causing his grief, but he instead stunk into himself, allowing Derek to guide the conversation. Maybe I should wait until he's ready. Do you think... Derek's eyes were distant and blank. He closed them and gave his head a violent shake. Never mind. What? No, it's nothing. It was stupid. You can tell me. Toby rearranged his body and turned it towards Derek in an attempt to seem more approachable. I don't know if this is working. I know I'm new. I'm new too, dude. God. Well, you're new, but I'm new to you. He stopped himself, took a breath and pushed it out in an embarrassed laugh. Sorry. I know you don't know me very well, but can you tell me anything you need? That's what I meant to say. Derek looked at him with deep worry in his eyes, but then they dropped in discouragement. I was just going to ask if you could stay. What do you mean? The night I was going to ask if you could stay the night because I don't want to be alone. But it sounds kind of gay, so it was stupid. No. Derek looked at him to finish his thought and the air became awkward when he didn't. No. Toby fiddled with his fingers. Oh. He was frustrated with himself. Sorry, sometimes I have a time finishing my thoughts. I mean, that doesn't sound weird. Or gay. I can stay if you need, just what? I don't know, I feel like something happened to you. If you don't want to tell me, that's fine. Derek leaned over the bed and began unlacing his shoes. My time hasn't been easy either. No one really talks to me. Still bent, Derek looked up to him and Toby felt a calming acceptance coming from Derek. Sorry, not about me. No, it's fine, I'd rather get my mind off things. I can sleep on the floor if you want. On the floor? Well, I'm not going to ask you to. Isn't it kind of hard? Oh, I sleep on the floor all the time. It's quite comfy. Well, I mean, I guess we can both fit here. We'll just keep our clothes on or whatever. Sometimes, if you've got a really sore back, sometimes it's good to just lay on a flat surface. Like, obviously not tiled floor like carpet. Toby gave him a confused look. Okay. Derek lifted his body onto the bed and curled onto the top of the end of it. Reached for the pillow and handed it to Toby. You can have it. Toby took it in his hands. Well... He put it across the middle of the bed and rested his head on it with his body curled away from Derek. We can do it like this if you don't want to lay together. Toby saw the pillow as a needless barrier, but he was excited enough to share company with Derek, or with anyone for that matter. I'm going to turn off the light. Okay. I like that effect. Like, they've really done well to try and put a light effect and then turn the light off. It's so dark. Yeah. Are you going to sleep? I'm going to try. Okay. Good night. Night, Toby. Oh, no bullshit with these two. With that, Toby shut his eyes and in the calm reality of present company, found rest quickly. Who the fuck is it? I'm trying to sleep. He left it open. You first. Not just barging in. Toby woke to the sound of nearby whispers. As he opened his eyes, he could hear two people fluently entering the room. There was a pause in their voices. When they spoke again, it was still in a whisper. Do not say a word. Get the fuck out of my room! Not one word. Huh? Toby felt him scurry to the light and flickered on. Sophie? The light burned Toby's eyes and he rubbed them with his hands till the stinging stopped. He rolled over to see Vincent and Sophie standing at the foot of the bed trying for some reason to look overly inconspicuous. Look, we just wanted to check up on you. We didn't mean... Vincent! Sophie elbowed him as his sneer grew wider and wider. Vincent, I swear to God, whatever you have to say, just shut it. What's going on? Well, at least he had the decency to drug him. Oh my God. Derek stood from the bed and ran over to Vincent, but Sophie quickly wedged herself between the two of them and Vincent threw his hands up smiling. Okay, I'm done. At least Toby was fucking here. Where the hell did you go? Speak with Sophie. Actually, I could ask you the same question. Just sprinting off without even making sure we're okay. Okay, so he cowardly ran off. Guys. Oh, right, like I have time to think in a situation like that. Screw off. Yeah, so who's the hothead here? The guy who can't think straight or the guy who keeps his cool and sticks with his friends? Guys. Sorry, maybe next time I stumble across the walking fucking corpse I'll be more mindful. The crescendo dropped into dead silence and Toby hoisted his body upwards, looking to Vincent, Derek as Sophie, distressed gaze danced around him. She threw her hands up in defeated gesture. Sophie? She let out a forceful grunt and gave Vincent a stiff punch on his shoulder. Jackass. Running her hands across her messy hair, Sophie calmed herself and approached Toby. Alright. Last night, these two arseholes and I went on a walk. And on the walk we saw... Derek almost interrupted her, but she raised her hand in a commanding gesture. We don't know what we saw, but it was real. And it was scary. And it wasn't an animal, and it wasn't a person. By this point her eyes had wandered to the floor and her hands sat flat at her waist. Toby didn't know how to respond. Turn to Derek. Derek? Derek sighed and took a seat next to Toby again. I don't know what to tell you. What? Toby took his arms and gathered them tightly around his waist, using them to keep his shivers unnoticeable. His body was cold. What did it look like? Toby saw Derek eye the other two for support. Toby, it happened really fast. It's hard to say. Can you just spit it out? God! But how did you guys get away? It was far away then. We got pretty close. Really close, actually. But we ran. Toby nodded. It made him feel normal. Okay, so what we do now then? Go to class and for now try to act normal. Why are they so calm? We need to tell someone. He looked at the others for confirmation. Toby at least felt safe around Derek, and he scooted along the bed to be a bit closer to him. Yeah, we should all be getting ready. If we want to go together, we should meet back here in like 20. Sounds good. So is this like a thing now? Nobody voiced a response, but Sophie looked at him in anticipation for his next statement. Like we're a group now? Sophie shrugged. Why not? Vincent lurched his body around and left Derek's room quickly, slamming the door behind him. Toby's heart jumped and he gripped the seams of his shirt. The hell is wrong with him? She made her way to the door. and turned back to the boys before making her exit. 20 minutes? Toby let Derek nod in agreement. See you. She opened the door and disappeared into the hallway. Stay with Toby and Derek, follow... No, I'm sick of seeing these two, Christ. It didn't take long for Toby to turn to Derek for comfort. Perhaps comfort wasn't the right word, Toby thought. Derek didn't provide him comfort so much as attention, but maybe the simple attention was comforting in its own right. Did I do something? Derek's head fell into his hands and he let out a deep sigh. It's just not great that you were here. Oh. Not in a bad way, just what we saw, we kind of wanted to keep it between us. Well, I don't know, we never talked about it, I guess I just assumed. That makes sense. Sorry, just repositioning. He shifted more towards Derek. Do you think it could have been a demon? What? Like... Without a comment to end his thought, Toby quickly fell back into himself. Is the thing the guy that we saw? He went all crazy and maybe he's like that now? Bit like Golem from Lord of the Rings? We don't know what it was. I'm going to try to find out. Derek gave Toby's question a pause and gave him a decidedly unsure look. I don't know. Oh, please, can we? Because I want some action. He stood up and tried to organise himself. Maybe. We should get ready. Toby nodded and then stood as well. Should I leave? Oh, I don't know. Do you have time to get ready and stuff? I'll just hang out here. Alright, well I'm going to go shower and stuff. I'll be quick. He wriggled out of his sweater and made his way out of the room. Toby looked around, his heart sank as the loneliness dug its teeth into his skin. Okay. With slow and calculated movements, Toby parked himself on the edge of Derek's bed. He stored a large breath in his lungs and let it slosh around. He liked feeling full. Okay. His head fell to his chest and his hands sturdily gripped his knees. God. Oh God. His breath was sharp. I'm alone. Please show me that I'm not alone. Thank you for Derek. Thank you for... I'm glad he talks to me. I'm glad that he's here. I don't know where I am. I don't know these people around me. Please keep me safe. Please make sure that I'm kind and helpful. Show me how to love. Show me what to do. Yo! Vincent and Sophie let themselves in and Toby fixed his attention on them. Hey! Where's Derek? He just went to shower. Cool, we can hang out till he's done. What? We can hang out until he's done. It's like, did I stutter, bitch? She eyed him intensely. Vincent seemed to understand something that was lost on Toby. I can come back or something. No, it's cool. I'm sorry that I heard everything. It's fine, Toby. Hey, the more people we have on our side, the better, right? What do you mean? Sophie looked to him for clarification. Oh, this was a sign. He wanted people to be around him. This is it. What do you mean, your side? They shifted awkwardly. Just don't tell anyone about it, okay? We don't need that shit spreading, especially to Jubon. I won't. Tofi stiffened his body and tried to sound commanding. Vincent, did I do something to make you mad? Vincent scoffed and twisted his body away from him. Toby felt an unmistakable instruction to continue. Because if I did, then I'm sorry. And maybe we can do something to make it up. Vincent raised his hand to silence Toby. Toby, you didn't do anything. Listen, you don't want to be my friend. I'm not a nice guy. Oh, God. I'm not someone you want to be around, and I'm definitely not someone who you can kiss ass to. You didn't do anything. You're fine. It's just me. I'm just an asshole. Vincent's voice was fat with conviction and made Toby shrivel up and withdraw. Okay. He left the topic drive and watched from the corner of his eyes as Sophie reached to Vincent and gripped his hand gently. Vincent's face collapsed onto something that Toby could have sworn was shame. Alright, well, we can just hang out till Derek's back. Sure. Can we sit? Sophie crept towards Toby with an admirable smile on her face. Well, it's Derek's room, I'm sure he wouldn't care. Sweet. Sophie plopped down and let her body fall comfortably. They waited in deniably awkward silence till Derek returned. Oh, sorry guys. It's all good? Let's go. The four of them headed out and Toby made sure to keep to the back of the group. Raining again. Hang on. Oh, sorry. Christ, I was just checking the time. We've been playing for an hour. Wow. Raining again. Always in the morning. Shit never stops. Toby let out a reserved chuckle and the other three looked at him. Sorry, Vincent's just funny. Yo! The voice reached him from quite a distance and soon Toby could hear gravel back footsteps approaching from behind. Yo, what's up? Toby turned around with the rest and saw Killian greeting him with a friendly grin. You guys taking off without me? Sophie sneered. I don't remember him. Killian, when's the last time you've been to class? What? I was there yesterday, wasn't I? 100% not. Not even close, bro. Oh, alright, well I'm here now. Can I join? Sure, why not? Killian made a robust gesture. Well, I just got the vibe that anyone who plays hooky isn't welcome. You're good. Killian quickened his pace and playfully jabbed Toby's side. How you doing, Toby? Toby looked at him and tried to smile. I'm fine. Have you met Derek? He was hasty in finding something to bring the attention away from himself. Toby liked to listen. At saying to Toby's question, Killian's face stretched into a smile and became bright and animated. Dude, I have not. He raised a hand and Derek outstretched one of his own. So this is Derek, huh? When did you get in? Just yesterday. Seems like longer, eh? Toby's attention wandered to find Sophie and Vincent slightly ahead of the group having an entirely independent discussion. Fuck Vincent. Douchebag. Yeah, time goes by kinda weird here. You think it's been a week, but it's been a day, or you think it's been an hour and it's been a month. Kinda crazy how that works. Yeah, I should say, I started my holiday 4 weeks ago, and we were getting our haircuts done, and Luke was saying something, and he's like, oh, I can't believe we've got to go back to work tomorrow, and I'm like, no, we got another week. And he's like, no, we don't, and I checked my roster, and shit, we're back tomorrow. I was like, God damn it. Yeah, it was just a long day yesterday. So you nervous to go back to class? Huh? Well, skipping yesterday and all. Killian threw himself back in a relaxed nod. Oh, nah, DuPont's pretty cool, man. Maybe she picks her favourites, I don't know. She won't give me any trouble, though. He hunched over and brought his mouth to Derek's ear and spoke in a growled whisper. Don't let Richard catch wind of that, though if he knew, he'd never show up. Fair. Derek motioned to Killian's chest. Motioned. So what's with the glasses? Oh, these. I have a workshop out back. Nothing crazy, but I tinker. Suddenly his eyes grew wide. Whoa, dude, you've never seen it. Seen what? Killian caught up Sophie and Vincent. Hey, yo, we got some time still, right? Derek has never been to my place. And we gotta bring him. That's what, and? We got time. We all got ready pretty quick. That's right, it was insanely quick. Dude, we're going. Whoa, you tagging along, Toby? Yeah. He giggled to fill the air. That's right, because us students have to stick together. You're right on, man. We're a dying breed. What? Yeah, we're dying off. In like 100 years, we'll be gone or something like that. I read that too. I'm scared. That's actually not true. The group looked at him. Toby hated when that happened. It was bogus. The science wasn't really true. Killian raised a hand and scratched the thick head of his hair. Oh, well, crap. Well, anyway, it's still good to stick together. Gingers are beautiful creatures. Oh, thanks, man. Quite aggressively, Killian wrapped his arm around Toby's neck and began grabbing his handfuls of his hair and raising it to display to the others. Like, look at this! Toby, your hair is a work of freaking art. Toby tried to wrestle his way out of his grip. Soon Killian let go and allowed him to toss his hair back neatly. Thanks. You know, Toby, I feel like we don't know enough about you. What do you mean? I mean, you're always here. But you're not really here. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Bone? No. High laugh come from Sophie. Killian, you're an idiot. What? You're going to tell me you know there is to know about Toby? Oh, God, never mind. Kill, carry on. He shot a confused look to Toby and continued forward. Okay, so tell us something, Toby. I'm from Winnipeg, you idiot. Oh, pretty close. I'm from Canada. What? Actually? That's pretty cool, dude. Yeah, thanks. Whereabouts? KayneHunterTaker. Oh! Come back to Toronto! I'm from Winnipeg, you idiot! Oh god, what a build-up that was. Sweet, we're like straight international. Oh, that's brilliant. That's really funny. What's it like up there? The same, pretty much. I guess the hospitals are free, though. Yeah, what's up with that? They have free healthcare, Kill. Yeah, that's just insane. Must be nice. It's pretty cool. You're going to open the door, or... The conversation had taken them to the entrance to Kill's, and they stood there idly as the conversation faded. Oh, sorry. Killian reached to his pocket, grabbed a key and unlocked the door. He held it open and gestured to Toby inside. Ding 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 ding. After you guys. Oh, we're breezing through. Hang on, once again. And we're back. I was just checking my recordings, making sure Bandicam's still going, all that stuff, so yeah, we're good. Toby started the place at first in unfiltered awe, but one that quickly faded into obvious disgust. It's kind of dirty. When I thought workshop, I thought it was like woodworking shop. Oh, Toby, this is your first time? Yeah. Huh, well, Toby, Derek, this is Kills. Sophie elbowed Vincent's gut. Don't even think about asking for cigarettes. What? I told you I quit. So, what is it you're doing here? Oh, I've got a little workshop out back. I'm struggling. See, to me, a story has to have a main character. Who's the main character? I feel like there's too many sort of focusing on one person. I don't know if that's just me being a nitpick. Okay. Oh, there we go. These workshops in the back. I came from some trade school. It's Miss DuPont lets me ticket here for extra credit. Must be nice. It is. And as for the front, well, I can't afford it like this. Found it like this. I'll get it fixed up one day. So all the stuff was already here. Some of it. The rest I find or trade you guys for pretty trouble. You got any weapons? He asked a question plainly, but it halted the conversation with a poignant weight. Killian tried to laugh. Oh, I just realised why he's asking. What? Dude. I mean, of all the stuff you have, do you have any weapons? Or anything could be used as a weapon? Derek, man. Why? No reason. We need weapons. No, just like the... We need weapons. Now. Please. Dude! Vincent tugged Derek forcefully by his arm and led Sophie and him away from Killian. Toby, who stood in between the new congregation and Killian, looked to Killian, who was certainly more than confused, and thought of who to wander to. Shit. Go to Killian, because he seems friendly. Weird. You have any idea what's going on there? Toby, of course, remembered his promise, and was unsure of how to navigate Killian's question. I know what's going on, yeah. And I'm not really allowed to say. Oh. Oh. Is it something I did? Oh, no. They're just trying to figure out how to deal with something. With weapons? Yes. Killian laughed and squeezed Toby's arms with an open hand. Jeez, Toby, you gotta relax. Look how tense you are. He jokingly flung Toby's head to the side, but Toby didn't laugh. He never liked being touched. I mean, I could probably help them out. I just wish I knew what it was for. Maybe you could ask them? I found out an accident, but maybe you should just ask, they would tell you. You think? I don't know, just a maybe. Killian pondered at the possibility for a moment, and then motioned to the others, who at this point stood far away at the entrance of the store. What are you doing with these guys anyway? What do you mean? Well, I don't know anything about Derek, really. But Sophie and Vincent, did they even talk to you? Well, Sophie did sometimes. She's nice. I'm not really sure about dipshit. Toby was crestly interrupted and watched as Sophie broke the circle, pushed her way through Derek and walked hastily towards Killian. Yo! Vincent chased after Sophie, who stopped in front of Killian with crossed arms and a stiffened frame. We need weapons to kill something we found just outside the campus. Soph! She gestured frantically through her words. It's big, and it's gross, and we think it's dangerous, so we need weapons. Because we're going back. Tonight. Well, that settles that. He's game, look at him! Derek smiled and let his body fall into a relaxed slouch. He eyed Sophie with admiration. You know, Vincent, I'm kind of seeing what you're saying about Sophie now. She's pretty cute when she... Before you finish that sentence, you prick, you might want to know that Sophie and I are dating now. She spent the night in my room, together. Kind of like you, Toby. Wow, what a douchebag. Through his tirade, Vincent's face became red with anger. Specks of saliva flew from his mouth and he shot the words out. I really hope you don't tag along. You're not part of the circle anymore. As he finished, he wiped his mouth with the back of his hand and quickly took his leave, using his whole body to push the front door open, and thrusting his leg out behind himself to force it shut. Sophie let out a violent groan. Oh my god. And you kissed him and saw his dick. What the hell was that? Toby watched as Derek's body became stiff and agitated and Sophie paced in a circle, her hand clenched at her mouth. Derek and I, we slept on opposite sides of the bed. It wasn't... We know, Toby. She calmed herself and looked to him, trying her best to sound approachable. Sorry. We know. We didn't... It doesn't even matter that you guys shared a bed. She positioned her body away from Toby and towards the door. Vincent's just being an asshole. Her arms buckled and carried balled fists that shook her as she yelled. A sharp surge in his temple made Toby notice that his heart was beating incredibly fast. He had never before been in an altercation, even one that remained only vocal, and the intensity of the situation and Vincent's contempt shook him. Oh. His breaths came in massive waves as his body tried to calm itself. You good, Toby? Killian put a carrying hand on his shoulder. I just... Want to sit? Toby nodded as Killian tried to guide his body to the floor. Here, just sit on the floor. But it's dirty, man. He listened and let Killian help him down. Once he was sitting, he felt Killian kneel behind him. One of his hands rested on Toby's shoulders, and the other gave him a hearty bump on the chest. You're good, man. He's just being a dick. Yeah, Toby, just don't listen to him. Well, maybe you shouldn't say stuff like that, so I won't have to not listen to it. Oh, shit. The others seemed to be lost for words. For a response, Sophie let out a sigh and approached Toby. I'm sorry, I'll talk to him, okay? He just needs a swift punch across the jaw. That'll sort him out. She offered him a hand. Toby took it and brought him to his feet. Thanks. I'm fine, I guess. There was an undeniably heavy silence and Toby shuffled under its awkward weight. So, he's telling the truth? Sophie looked to him. You guys are dating? Her eyes were still and scared. They bounced around between the three boys. Yeah. Well, sweet! We gotta celebrate or something. Yeah. I thought you said that. Oh, great. Oh, it's time. You're coming today? Yeah, might as well. Got a whole new crowd to get to know. What about the... We'll talk. Toby fumbled towards the entrance with the others, staying behind as not to intervene, and watched as Sophie tried to gather words for Derek. She whispered to him. He's a nice guy. Right. Derek didn't look to her as he spoke, just pushed his way out of the building, holding the door limply for Toby. They walked to class in silence. Toby took a seat next to Killian and was rather happy when Derek sat down on his other side. He watched as Killian revved himself up for conversation, craning his neck. Killian spoke to Derek. So, Derek, man, what's up? Tell me about yourself. Toby backed into his chair and shrunk himself to let him speak. I wish these guys had all sort of gathered together so we didn't have to keep hearing the same thing every time. I'm not shitting on the game, I'm just saying it's... a lot of this stuff we could probably narrow down. Not so much to say, really. Just got here yesterday. From where? I'm from Dubicki. No idea where the heck that is. He let an inviting laugh. Toby enjoyed listening to Killian's voice. It was warm. Yeah, most people don't. Kind of a small town or city. I guess it's a small city. And what's it like there? What? Killian slapped the top of his desk and let out a hollering laugh. Probably more gingers than Asian in a place called Dubicki. Dubok. I'm pretty sure I've heard of the name. Actually, yeah, you're probably right. But you were, born here and everything, right? Derek scoffed sarcastically at him. No, Kieran, I was born in Asia. I really excited with you. Holy crap, dude. Didn't you know you were so savage? Well, I mean, come on, where does it sound like I was born? Alright, man, no worries. Didn't mean anything by it. Derek shot him a side eye and gave a smile that Toby couldn't say was completely genuine. Well, thanks for showing us your place today. It's actually pretty cool. Yeah, man, no worries. You're welcome any time, really. I'm mostly there, so if you ever want to just chill or whatever, just come over. I like him. He seems cool. Yeah, sounds good. With that, Ash walked into the room and sat near Sophie and Vincent. Ash! Well, I'm not good enough for you? Ash flicked her thick hair back over her shoulders, dismissing Killian, and then laughed. Ouch! Miss Dupont followed, and Toby instantly noticed her frazzled and rushed steps. She set herself before she spoke. Good morning! The class let out mumbles in response. I know this is a first. I know I'm always present in the classroom waiting for you all to arrive. I had such a morning. I was unable to be here on time and I apologise. She dipped her head to the class in a small act of submission. I doubt there was much worry. She let out a chuckle when Toby smiled. He liked when she laughed. I hope today is good. Right, today's discussion. Is math still sick? Okay, it's starting to come together now. I feel like we did meet math at first, but see, because it's been a year since I played it, I can't remember anything. In the months of turning towards the chalkboard, Miss Trump rerouted herself to face the class again. Ah, yes, my apologies. Matthias won't be in class today, but I'm sure he'll be relieved to hear that Math is feeling much better. He's certainly on a promising upward trend. I can't say for sure, but it's within the realm of possibility that he'll be joining us tomorrow. Did he go to the hospital? Miss Dupont smiled to Ash, but Toby sensed a small nod of frustration in her glance. Ash, I hope it will be expected that I tell you all of one of your peers were to travel off campus for medical care. Math has a cold. He was at one point running a fever, but it seems that he has broke. We're just giving him time to rest. Ash nodded and Miss Dupont seemed to survey the room for anyone else who might have had a question. Right, carrying on. Today's discussion's topic. She turned towards the chalkboard and began to write, but then stopped herself. In fact, Toby? Toby's skin became hot and red as he cocked his head upwards. Why don't you come to the front? Oh god, he's going to break. He let out a silent, frustrated sigh and obeyed. I hate this, God, please calm me down. Alright. Toby, what I want you to do is take control. Class, what I want you to do is listen to Toby. What? Miss Dupont nodded confidently at him and she walked to the side of the room, giving him command in the centre. Toby, give the class some sort of instruction. Like what? Toby wanted to fold into himself and disappear. Could be anything. Something simple, something outrageous. You're in charge. He surveyed the class and thought about what to say. Be goofy. Okay. Everyone has to sit backwards in their chairs. The class looked at Toby with a dead glance. Lost by their disregard, Toby turned to face Dupont for direction, but instead watched as she eagerly took a seat at a desk with her body facing the back of the room. Aww, bless her. Toby saw Derek look to her and follow her head, snaking his legs around the desk bars, trying to get comfortable. The others soon followed. I'm not doing that. We'll get the fuck out of the class. You got detention, and sorry the mouse has been sitting there the whole time. You have to. I'm in charge. Yeah, bitch. He said it almost as a question. Right, well, good for you, still not doing it. God, you're such a twat. It's actually kind of comfortable. Killian also turned backwards, waved to the front of the room. This was a great idea, Toby. It's a beautiful view. I'm loving it. Are there any further instructions for us, Toby? Toby smiled to himself and then widened his chest. Yeah, everyone has to stay facing the way they are. If you're looking back, stay looking back. If you're looking to the front, stay looking to the front. No changing. Now everyone write down Vincent is a... and fill in the... and raise up super high facing the front. What? Good on you, mate. Derek and Kelly let out a deep laugh together. This dude's a savage. Well, don't write anything mean. Toby's regress made the class chuckle. Oh, we'll see about that. Nobody's going to be able to see them except Toby. If we all follow the rules. I'm surrounded by savages, Miss D. The class erupted into laughter as they all scribbled on their pages. This is bullshit. Well, you decided to be a dick. Now you're going to get treated like one. Alright, everyone, ready? 3, 2, 1. Raise them up. As the class had their arms up, Vincent merely turned around and began reading. Vincent is a remarkable student. Shh, thanks, Teach. Toby waved his arms towards Vincent. Hey, no changing your position. Vincent looked at Derek's page. Vincent is a douche. I knew he was going to write that. Fair. Dude, you're breaking the rules. Actually... Sophie turned her body around and began craning her neck to see what her peers had written. Killian! Vincent is a dude who's getting absolutely wrecked. I like this guy. Oh my god. She erupted into a belly laugh and let her flailing body be steadied by the top of her desk. Alright. She began to lift herself from the awkward position. Wait. Derek arched his neck, still contrary out of unquestioned obedience. What about you, Sophie? What did you write? It was almost immediately that her smile collapsed and her face dropped. Nothing. Vincent, I'm breaking up with you. Show us. She lifted up the paper and jotted it towards Vincent sarcastically. There's nothing. It was true. Toby saw she had written nothing in blank. He observed as Vincent withdrew and became shrunken and vulnerable. Sophie tried to apologise with her eyes. Miss Chipmunk ushered herself to the front of the room and gestured Toby back to his desk. Alright, thank you, Toby. Good on you, man, you shook him. Now he's bloody sulking. Toby ran himself away from his desk, weaving his way in between Sophie and Vincent. As he passed Vincent's desk, he let his hand drape across it, running his fingers along the top as he made his way. Be nice next time. I'd like to be a friend if I could. He sat down at a natural high. I can't believe I just did that. Good on you, mate. Fuck Vincent. Right. Mr. Bond took a moment to assess the situation. What I intended was for us to have a discussion on authority. What does it mean to be an authority? To have control. How does one find themselves in a place of authority? If authority is given to someone at random, do those beneath them listen? On what grounds? However, she paused and thought once more. I feel that the discussion topic has changed and becomes much more personal. Killian, nice of you to join us, I must add. How'd you feel about the situation? It was pretty weird, to be honest. Seeing Toby up there just didn't fit. So it didn't have so much to do with authority specifically, rather who the authority was given to. He killed it, though. Ash? He went against what we would expect. Toby's the good guy. I'm not saying anything he did was really bad, it was just different. Did you find that made you more or less or inclined to listen? If Toby had been sheepish and meek and gave simple, feasible instructions, would you have responded differently? I don't know. I think I listen to him more now because I want to see what he would happen next. Yeah. If he'd just been himself, I still would have listened. I just wouldn't have been interested. Ah, yes, and what about you, Vincent? She rose as a commanding hand to silence any laugh before it came. You were vulnerable and upset. Yeah, thanks for jumping in, Teach. I'll admit I considered it. If I'd gotten any more to hand than I surely would have. I have nothing to say. His voice was different. Toby noticed. Instead of laced with the defensiveness, it was broken and unguarded. It washed the class in an abrupt silence. Mr. Pond noticed this, surveyed the room and turned back toward her desk. Right. Well, we do have some classwork to complete. We'll move on to that and call an early lunch. Does that sound agreeable? Toby watched as Sophie reached a hand across the aisleway between them and stroked the back of Vincent's hand. He took hers and squeezed it, and looked her defeated. Toby couldn't make it out, but Sophie mouthed something to Vincent, to which he nodded and nearly smiled. She patted his head once more and turned to work. What a little bitch! Alright, that should suffice. Let's begin our lunch. The students scoured and Toby indistinctly gravitated towards Derek. What are you doing for lunch? Not sure yet. Killian approached them. Hey guys, want to eat together? We'll sit down under the pavilion. Oh yeah, for sure. Let's get everyone. Yo! He shouted to those who had almost left. We're all meeting on the pavilion. See you there. He eyed Sophie, knowing she nodded in acknowledgement. Sweet, well that's that. We're pretty close to the end. We've got one more achievement. I feel like there's going to be a number 3. Hang on before we go. Toby sat between Derek and Killian waiting for others to arrive. This is where we eat lunch. It's actually pretty cool. And it's not even raining. Yeah, it's lunchtime, dude. Toby let out a chuckle. What? Never rains during lunch. What do you mean, never? Not a drop. Derek looked at Toby and shrugged and nodded. It's weird, right? Yeah. Do you think the other guys will come? Yes. Oh, right, never mind. Toby, would you want to come tonight? With that, Sophie and Vincent rounded the corner, and before Toby could answer, he was drawn to their demeanour. They walked hand in hand, Sophie fearing to be coaching Vincent to approachability. He braced himself and nodded, and Sophie, satisfied, brought his head close to hers and gave him a peck on the cheek. Ugh. So that's like really a thing? Looks like it. I'm not trying to be a douche here, right? But I always thought Sophie was a lesbian. I mean, that baseball hat? Toby chawed and covered his mouth. That doesn't make sense. Apparently. The couple of footsteps were audible now, and Sophie waved as they approached. Yo, guys. She eyed the lunch bag scattered across the table. And they waited for us. She elbowed Vince softly and smiled to him. The best intentions, see? Toby watched as Derek furrowed his eyebrows in confusion. You seem happy. I am. Is that a problem? And she's back. The air became cooler with Vincent's arrival. No one seemed to know what to say, especially Toby. So, what's on the menu today? He opened the paper bag that housed their daily lunch and unloaded it one by one onto the tabletop. The last container caught his eye. What the hell is this? There was silence. Should I answer? I could try. I think it's, mango. Sliced mango. Sliced? It's obviously sliced. Toby opened his own container and brought it up to his nose, taking a soft sniff. Yeah, it's mango, see? He handed the container over to Vincent's face, right up to the edge of his nose. Vincent looked around awkwardly, jotted his nose forward and took a tentative sniff. Yeah, thanks, Toby. That's definitely mango. Oh. Toby recoiled. I guess you could have smelled your own. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about what I did. It wasn't nice. It was mean. I was scared and I didn't know what to do. And you made me mad. I've never really been so mad at someone before. And... Toby. Vincent raised his hand to cut him off. It's fine. Let's just eat. He deserved it, the prick. Toby wasn't sure if he was being tricked. He reached out for a slice of mango and slurped it up. I gotta say, mango is such a weird word. Just think about it. Mango. Mango. Derek coughed up his mouth full of food in a fit of laughter. Dude, you're an idiot. This guy's a bra, man. I like him. He's awesome. The rest of the group joined in his laughter. As it died down, Toby noticed Derek become rather contemplative. Oh, sorry, I think because I'm talking quick, I keep getting air sucking in and it'll hiccup. He picked at the edge of his sandwich and gathered his words. Did you guys walk past the shed this morning? That wooden shed out back behind the school. Yeah, we passed it. Why? Did you notice it was unlocked? Seriously? Derek nodded. Weapons! I noticed yesterday I had a look on it and today it was gone. What's your point? He shrugged. I want to see inside. The others looked at him and finally lifted his gaze from the mess of crumbs he had made. His eyes held a profane stare. Something's not right here. I don't know if I'm the first one to say that out loud, but it's true. I want to search this place up and down and find answers. Maybe there aren't any, but maybe there are. It seemed he was about to present a final thought, but he stopped himself short. Sophie and Vincent sighed together while Killian, engaged as he was, ate his lunch uninterrupted. Sophie hunched forward and lowered her voice. We can set up a game plan, but no shed dive until we go back out there tonight. You're still good for setting us up, Kill? Killian nodded, exaggerating his chews till the food made it down his throat. For sure, dude. Just stop by whenever you're headed out. What about me? Hey, guys. Ash stood behind Sophie and Vincent, her hands clutching her lunch bags in front of her. Got some room? Oh, look at our posse. Sophie patted the bench beside her. Take a seat. Thanks. What's on the menu? Sliced mango. Sliced mango. That's such a weird word. Told ya. Sophie shuffled herself to the side to allow Ash some room. So, Ash, I don't think I've ever asked, where are you from? Yeah, you too, Derek. I can never tell what the heck your background is. The group soon split off into their own pockets of conversation, leaving Toby available to tune in as he pleased. Let's listen to Ash. You mean like my background? Sure, we can go with that. Well, my grandparents on my mum's side are from India. My dad was born in Pakistan, but didn't live there for very long. He doesn't even have an accent. Yikes, talk about forbidden love. What do you mean? India and Pakistan don't get along. I was going to say something, but I thought, nah, I won't. Yep. Whenever my parents fought, they'd always shit on each other for their background. Oh, this is your Indian blood. My dad would say that all the time. Jeez, kinda harsh. They were always kidding. So what the hell did they do to each other? I don't know, Stu's up. They made love. I mean the countries. Oh, no idea to be honest. It was after the Crown rule in India. After it was over, the two nations were formed. A bunch of people were displaced and the tensions just grew from there. Sophie turned to Vincent, looked to him stunned, but then offered him a warm smile. She leaned backwards and used his body as a backrest. Such a know-it-all. You guys are cute. Sophie cocked her head and saw Toby engaged in the conversation. What about you, Toby? Where are you from? I'm from Winnipeg, you idiot. Me? It's not very interesting. My ancestors came over here like 4 generations ago, just from England and Ireland and stuff. My dad told me once that we have one ancestor who was Sheikh or something, but now it's like 1% probably. Hey, England's pretty cool, don't bash your heritage. I'm Brit, man. Fight the power. Toby looked to her a bit confused. It was rare for Ash to speak to him. Hi, Ash. Yeah, I mean, they managed to kill their way to one of the biggest empires in history, so there's got to be something they're doing right. Oh my gosh, you're such a nerd. Oh, come on, that's not exactly uncommon knowledge. Have you guys been to England? Yeah, where's the coolest place you've been, Soph? Once again, the group organically split off into separate conversations. Now, let's listen to Derek now. I heard you before, Ash, where your parents are from. Have you ever visited with them? To India? I went once, yeah. That's sweet. How long ago? I guess I was like 12. That's awesome. You went with your mum, I guess. Yeah, the point to my trip was to actually show my dad. He'd never been. My mum said, I'm going to show you the true blood of India. As if she knows. She hasn't lived there a day in her life. That's like me with England. I mean, me and Luke were born, but we're probably a month or 2 months old and we moved to Australia and we've been here our whole life. Oh yeah, but it's still her place. It's where she comes from. I should add, the hospital I was born in got burnt down, so there's no visiting the hospital where I was born now. Really? That's weird. When I visited Japan, I kinda got it. Like I felt like in my bones. Do you speak any? Konnichiwa. Tobi-san. Toby felt nervous interjecting, but found it easy and welcome. See, this is the part where we all get together and then one of us is probably going to get killed and then it just rips us all apart. Japanese? A little bit, but my dad tried to teach me while I was growing up. You know, if you don't use it, it just gets lost. I don't remember much. That's a bit like Italian. I don't know why in Australia, throughout primary school and high school, we always had Italian and I never really learned. I just, you know, remember words like Iwadidecci, what's the word? Cozy cozy. I used to be able to count to 10, and that's about it. What about you, Toby? Where have you been to? Me? Well, a lot of places, really. I don't want to make a list. Do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it! He tilted his head back and thought about it for a moment. Well, Canada, America, Portugal, Spain, Germany, France. Oh, you're all over the place. England, Scotland, Wales. We did Morocco too. And Belgium. Well, traveller here. Well, no, not really. My parents lived in Portugal for a while, and it's super cheap to travel in Europe, and everything's so close. So we just went to other places when they had time off. Still pretty freaking cool. Yeah. The conversation slowly dwindled as the group picked away at their lunches and talked in pairs. How did they do that? Toby thought of initiating with someone, but it felt too strained and awkward. Maybe I'd just like to listen. He sat in silence until they began to reach the end of their meals. That was pretty yummy. Yo, Ash, weren't you the last one to start eating? And? I'm a big girl. Plus, I can't take my meds on an empty stomach. Right. She dug around her bag but came out empty-handed. Ah, shit, I forgot them in class. Oh, God. Alright, well, I gotta head back. I'll see you in class. She stretched her gaze across the table. Toby, you wanna come? Just to keep me company. It's alright if you don't want to. She likes you, man. Go with her. Yeah, Toby, you should go. Keep her company. Underneath the table, Toby could see Derek roll up his fist, which he brought to Toby's thigh and gave a little tap. I think I get it. Yeah, I can come, Ash. Sweet. Right, now this is where something goes really wrong. They built us up to get a bit emotional and then rip it apart. He stood from the table, being sure to grab his empty paper bag and plastic wrappings. I'll see you guys in class, I guess. See you, Toby. Ash stood away from the table now, and Toby wrapped his way around it and caught up to it. Oh, I was doing so well, and now I started yawning again. Hang on, I just got to rub my eyes and get it out. Because rubbing your eyes makes it help you not yawn. Don't know if that's true. Here we go, here it comes. Alright, got that one out. Here, I'll just save that. Hey, I'm not finished. Thanks for coming. Her voice was low and fugitive. She didn't speak again until they had rounded the corner to the front of the school. What's wrong? She shook her head. No, nothing's wrong. Oh no, her meds. I need help something, and I think you're the best person to ask. Seriously? What do you mean? Is it DuPont's assignment? Ash shrieked in laughter, so loudly in fact that it made Toby jump. She brought an open hand to her mouth and covered it. I'm sorry, oh my god, sometimes that just happens. No, it's just about DuPont's... No, it's not about DuPont's assignment. She slowly walked towards herself closer to Toby. Well, first I need you to promise not to tell anyone. I'm a virgin. Not again. I promise. Toby knew that he meant it. Alright, and you can say no too. I mean, I'll be kind of screwed, but you can say no. Sure. Alright. I've been going for these walks. Oh, she knows about the creature. Oh no. What? She paused and looked utterly confused at him. Toby's heart was racing, but he shook the thought away and gestured to her for her to continue. No, go ahead. I just haven't been able to sleep lately, so I just walk around campus. I've been doing it since I got here, basically. And, I think I found something. Something? I'm not sure. I didn't want to do it alone, so when I found it, I just kind of backed away. What did you find? Toby? Are you in or out? Is it safe? Well, at least tell me, is it safe? Huh? Whatever you found, could it be dangerous? Well, no. I mean, I don't know. Probably not. I just don't want to go alone. So are you in? Reluctant and fearful, Toby wasn't sure what to say. What he knew for certain, though, was he felt a growing sense of pride and responsibility for having known so many different secrets. Ashes held even more weight, he figured. He had been entrusted with it. Toby nodded to her. Yeah, I can do it. Sweet. Ah, yes, this is sweet. Alright, well please don't tell anyone. At least not until it's over. He gave her another nod, this time more confident, and followed as Ash led him inside. Something's going to happen, because there's no music. It's like setting it up. Thanks for that, Derek. The group sat stiffly, leaning forward with great intent in their stares. Sophie's back was tensed and ached. Yeah. Don't feel bad about it. Toby's great. He's just not right for this. Shh, and we are? She eyed him with transparent vulnerability and then positioned herself towards killing. Alright. Alright. Tone it down, dude. We're all scared shitless here. True. Alright, well. I can just hunger down the shop tonight. Shouldn't be an issue. You guys get ready, do your thing, and then when you're set to go, just stop by. And what do you have? Oh, it's mostly stuff from the back. I've got wrenches, big poles. Anything sharp? Killian tilted his head back in thought. I mean, I could just cut something. Please do. Now Killian's eyes became worried. You guys sure you shouldn't tell DuPont? Absolutely. I mean, what if she'd help? He just received blank stares from the rest of the group. Would you like some aid beating the absolute shit out of a half torso on stilts? I'm quite competent in the art of arse whooping. Vincent, be sure to maintain a positive demeanour throughout this exercise. Yeah, Kill, she's just going to help us. True. I don't know. It's just, what the heck is it? And what if it comes here? That's why we're going back. Everyone is at risk. We're not trying to be heroes. Plus, maybe there's more of them. And if there are, that's when we get the hell out of here. For real. Vincent and Sophie's gazes were glared by worry and apprehension. Yeah. Well, that's that then. I'll do my part. See you tonight? This better work. Yeah, for sure. We'll see you then. And Toby? Sophie allowed for a pause. We'll figure it out. Here we go. Class passed by quickly and without struggle. Sophie tried to maintain some semblance of attentiveness, but her efforts were thwarted by the raucous protest of an excited mind. We can do this. We can definitely do this. And we'll just... I feel like we're coming close to the end, but just in case. Night had come and Sophie knew that the group would be headed out soon. She made her way to Vincent's room to collect him. Yeah? Open up! It's the police! How? What? Oh, I'm trying to... You know sometimes when you're sitting, you've got your sleeve on your shirt and it just catches your armpit and no matter what you do, it just feels uncomfortable? What? I mean, do you want me to do a porn... She gave her consideration but then jostled her head and scoffed. Please just put some clothes on. The door swung open. Kidding. Oh my god. She pushed her way past him and made her way to his bed. Her body slouched, let out a deep sigh. What's up? Sophie's eyes were vulnerable but intent, but she made sure of that as she looked at him. I need you to tell me. Tell you what? Whatever happened to that screwed you up? What? She brought the conversation to a halt. She knew he knew. Vincent was overcome with the same vulnerability, although he's dripped from his eyes and washed over his entire body in raw sheen. Please. I just want to know. She scooted to the edge of the bed, closer to where he stood. And I'll tell you mine. Sophie watched as Vincent paced around the question in his mind. Just come close to me. I don't. His breath stuttered and made Sophie feel intrusive. I haven't really told anyone. She was silent as she tried to consider all the ways she could make room for him. She lowered her hand to the bed next to her, and eventually Vincent took a seat. Sophie remained silent. Do you want me to just listen, or ask you questions or something? He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. My brother died. Aww. The words hit her with greater force than she could have imagined. I don't mean to just suddenly stop here. I just want to make sure my recording's still going. Yeah, we're good. The words hit her with greater force than she could have imagined. Her skin stung as she brought herself closer to him. Just listen. That's it. Sophie nodded, then placed her hand on his arm. It was clear that he was closing himself off. Did he die because of him? Was it because of him and that's why he's here? I'm sorry. How long ago? Vincent was fighting with himself. Please just talk to me. Like 5 years ago? It doesn't matter. Yes, it does. Her voice was softened to a whisper. He shot his gaze to hers, and Sophie could tell he found comfort in her eyes. Maybe I'm doing this right. Vincent braced his body and gripped Sophie's hand. He stared straight away from her. He got drunk. Oh, never mind. He was 17. It was a week before his birthday. He went to a party and got drunk, and the fucked up thing is that he didn't even drive. I drove. One of his friends told us that he got offered a ride, but he knew that the driver had been drinking, so he said no. He was a responsible guy. I mean, I know he got loaded that night, but everyone does that. I don't know. He didn't drive, but he got killed by a drunk driver. He was just walking along and... Vincent pushed one hand forward and let it skid across the other one, showing Sophie what happened rather than saying it. Holy shit. We didn't know the driver. They'd come from a different party. They didn't even get hurt. Not even a bruise. Sophie readied herself to speak, but just as quickly pulled away. As Vincent looked to her, she shook her head. What? No, keep going, it's nothing. Just say it. She tried to speak as softly as she could. Are they... She cleared away a cough. Are they in jail? Vincent crossed his arms and looked forward once again. For life. Good. That's the one thing that apart from shark culling, that's my number one, but number two, drunk drivers. And in that same category, people using their phone while driving. Because what then happens is they cause an accident and kill someone, and they still get to live. So, if you drink and drive, taste drive, you're a cunt. Moving on. Sophie just responded with a soft nod. She wasn't sure what else she could offer. So that's that. I'm sorry. Yeah, me too. He gave her hand another squeeze and tried to rid his voice of all the weight and seriousness. Well, now you know. Your turn. But... No. The deal was telling, not answering questions. Your turn. Here. He scooted closer and draped his arm around her, pulling her close. She rested her hand to the nook of his neck. This feels so... So where does it begin? I guess when I was born. My parents, they were super young. I guess it must have been a mistake. There's no way you wanted to have a kid then, right? Anyways, they were super poor, and just not just like how everyone is poor. When they're young, they both grew up in super poor families. Like poverty poor. We had nothing. And they knew that, so I guess before I was even born, they decided to give me up for adoption. I don't know why they didn't just abort me. So... No, I'm not being extra here. Like, what's the use? So, if that's fucked up. Can you just let me have my own thoughts, please? I'm just offering you mine. Well, this isn't your time to speak right now, is it? Sorry. Go ahead. Anyways, my family now, my adoptive parents, they're super rich. Well, maybe not super, but they have a lot of money. And I've always felt bad about it. I've always felt guilty. I know my real parents are still suffering. I know that they have nothing. They got a lot more money for me, but they didn't stretch very far. They call once in a blue moon, but I can tell that it hurts them. I can tell how sad it made them to give me up. They have their own kid now. They always wanted one. It was never a broken home, just a poor one. They love each other like mad. And I just came at the wrong time. So it was a bit of like she was like a rebel, she got sent away, adopted, and yet they had another kid, and now she got pissed. Sophie's body was stiff and she realised that she was constricting her breath. She tried to loosen her lungs and build them up again. So, that's me. That's why I'm the way I am. Beautiful and smart and perfect and funny. I don't get it. Sophie elbowed his side, then leaned in closer. I don't know how you see it that way. It's objective, just stating facts. She brought her hand to his chest and rubbed it around in it. Oh. He's alive. A deep sigh escaped her. Okay. I'm just going to finish getting ready. Maybe check in on Derek or Toby. We've got a bit of time yet, right? Yeah, we should leave a bit later. Sweet, we'll come back in a bit. Standing from the bed, Sophie made her way to Vincent's room and into the hallway. Guess to check on someone. Check on Derek. She made her way to Derek's door. Yeah? Yo, it's me. Oh, okay. He opened the door and she walked inside. What's up? Just wanted to check in and see if you're good. Yeah, I'm good. Derek stood awkwardly in the middle of the room. You sure? Yeah, I'm fine. So what's wrong? He shot an annoyed look at her. What do you think? I think you're probably jealous. I was going to say I felt like he may have had a little thing for her. Mind you, that was my fault. I made her bloody fall for that prick. Derek rolled his eyes aside and sat on the edge of his bed. I'm not jealous. I'm just surprised. 10 minutes ago you were always trying to get him off you. Now all of a sudden you're into it. I don't get it. It's not really your issue to get. I guess I'm just explaining myself. Sophie shrugged. He's nice. Is he? Because he's actually kind of an asshole. I agree with you, man. He's nice to me. Yeah, that's how he sucks you in. Is that enough, though? Well, maybe I'm a selfish bitch, Derek. Who knows? I do, and I know that you aren't. You don't know shit. You just got here. Well, you're the one that wanted to know me on the bus. I know that you care about other people. He spat his last words out forcefully and instantly halted the conversation. Derek calmed himself. I know that you care about Toby. I know you wouldn't want his feelings hurt. I don't. But what Vincent does is Vincent's beef. I'm not the one running my mouth. Yeah, but you're defending him. And I give him shit for it. It's not like I don't give him shit. He knows I hate it. Derek nodded, but Sophie could tell he wasn't satisfied. I guess that's that then. I guess so. Listen. She took a seat next to him on the bed. I just came to make sure you were still good for tonight. I'm still good. We need everyone's head in the game. We can't let stuff like this distract us. It'll make us weak, and if we're in danger, we can't be weak. Yeah, no, I'm good. I've said that I wanted to say. Okay. She looked across the room to the empty wall. She really started decorating. I remember that bit in the first chapter. I'll get right onto it. He reached up to Zoe and put his hand on her thigh. I just want you to be happy. Sophie furrowed her brow. Thanks. Derek retracted his hand quickly. Oh. Sorry. What? I forgot, you don't like being touched. It's fine. Just be my friend, Derek. Okay? Yeah. That sounds good. Sweet. She stood up with an energetic liveliness. So I'll see you later then. We can pick you up when we're ready. Sorry, when we're not ready. Yeah, for sure. Just make sure you clear your head. Dance around your room or riot or jerk off or something. Just get yourself focused. I usually like to do all three simultaneously. Whatever works, dude. Later. See you. She left his room quietly and made her way up to the stairs, as if she was in a trance. She had decided to shower before heading out, but her vision was overcome by her thoughts. The warm water blanketed her body and comforted her, and it was under its protection that she could think most daring thoughts. What if we die? It didn't seem so sinister and taboo to think of such things by herself. The steam rose and cleared her skin, and along with it with her mind. What if we die? She lay in bed with her eyes closed. Perhaps she was asleep. She couldn't tell. Sophie rose from her bed, left her room and went to gather Vincent. You all set? Vincent nodded and brought himself into the hallway, closing his door behind him. Let's grab Derek. They moved to the door next to them, but before Sophie could give it a knock, Derek opened the door. Let's go. He stepped into the hallway and looked around. I was going to say, where's Toby and Ash? We haven't stopped by yet. Is he coming? He might as well. He didn't say he wasn't. Oh, I never thought of that. Maybe I should have gone to see him. Fair enough. They walked to the opposite end of the corridor and gave Toby's door a knock. Oddly, there was no answer, and Sophie looked back to the boys. He say anything to you guys? No. Nope. She knocked again. Toby? There was no answer. Should we look for him? He obviously just didn't want to come. If he wanted to, he'd be waiting and ready. Yeah, I guess so. Should we just go to Kills then? Yeah. So could feel the oh, this is where it's going to get good. It hurts to move. What if we die? What if we die? While it looked the same, it was undeniable that Killian's shop felt wholly different that night. A palpable unease hung from the ceiling and swayed in front of them. Kill? They heard rustling in the back, and soon Killian emerged before them, his arms wrapped awkwardly around a stash of mouse scraps and tools. What up, bruh? Oh, hey guys. Need some help there? Killian took a few more steps towards them and then opened up his arms. Phew, there we go. This is like a find that would be good for, He looked at them and scratched his temple. Monster hunting? Are we calling it monster hunting? Anyways, feel free to pursue at your leisure. It's mostly metal scraps. On the really sharp ones, I cut out a place for you to grip it and then just add some tape to make it easier to hold. Vincent bent down and grabbed the one that appeared to be the sharpest and tested its weight and feel. Sure, pretty light. This is... His head dropped low and his voice sunk. This is serious, isn't it? You guys aren't joking. Sophie looked to him sternly. Yeah. Aren't you scared? Yes. I was thinking about coming, but it's fine, Kill. We weren't expecting you to. Thanks, I kind of feel like a coward. Not telling DuPont is all we need from you. Yeah, I won't. Do you have a staff? As Sophie was sorting through the pile of makeshift weapons, she and the others looked at Derek. Huh? Like a wooden staff. Do you know what a bow staff is? Or a rokishikabu? No. I do training in martial arts since I was super little. I started with karate, but I've done a lot of training in bujitsu. If you have any kind of wooden rod or staff, the longer the better. Killian began walking towards the back of the shop again, but shouted back to Derek that as he did. I've got a whole wood of wooden stuff. Planks and boards. I think it's the stuff you're looking for. Just give me a sec. Didn't know that about you. We've got a hardened warrior on our side. I mean, I've only ever used it in class, so... What belt did you get in karate? Black? Well, shh. Good one. Visibly spent, he ran back to the front carrying a long wooden staff and presented it to Derek. I have this. It's like taller than me, though. I could cut it down. It's perfect. It's weirdly perfect. Oh, well, sweet. Killian handed the rod to him. Well, give us a little show. Twirl it around or something. You don't twirl it around, you hold it steady in two hands. He demonstrated the proper stance. Sophie wasn't sure if it made her feel safer. At the very least, Derek's body looked comfortable and familiar as he white-knuckled his new weapon. Sophie looked to the boys. She gripped her metal shard with little confidence. The two stood in front of her, their defenselessness and exposure spelled out on their sunken faces. Sophie cleared her throat. We headed out then? Vincent nodded to her and Derek remained stoic. Thanks, Kill, we appreciate it. Let me know how it goes, eh? Yeah. The three of them took their leave. The silence was painful. Not the silence of the night, in fact. Sophie realised. It produced a rather boisterous symphony, with the silence amongst each other. Sophie felt the bottom of her shoes meet the chilling asphalt and was unsettled by the thinness of her soles. I should have brought different shoes. She knew that Vincent and Derek didn't want to speak, or rather couldn't. Both of them tried to force their way to the front of the group as foreign showcase of bravery, but always managed to stay one step behind. Am I in front right now? The chorus of crickets sung their support, all their warnings, all their indifference. The air was cold and hard. It's like walking through stones. Sophie tried to retrace their steps from the previous night. When did Daryl take me? Was it here? When did Vincent? She stopped herself. The creature could walk. It could have been beside them at any moment. It might not be here at all. Where are you? Ah. An exhale, a relief. Vincent placed his hand on her shoulder and used it to pull himself ahead. He was quiet in his gesture. Thank you. She watched him as he led the brigade forward. What if we die? She tightened her throat and drew the smallest breath. Guys? She wasn't sure if she made a sound, but the boys turned to her. Startled and pale, she raised her finger and pointed outside of the street. That's where it came from. They nodded in understanding. Oh shit, here we go. Get back. With great trepidation, but without delay, Derek struck the beast with the end of his staff, while from the contact came an audible cracking of flesh. The creature seemed unfazed. It let out a gracious howl and then... You will never leave. What the fuck? With its attention fixed on Derek, Vincent laughed at it, severing its shoulder with his blade. He recoiled out and let a powerful scream. Instinct took over the beast, it seemed, and it whipped its arm to the side, flying in the direction of the attack. Having withdrawn enough, the appendage cut through dead air until violently meeting the side of Sophie's head. What? For a moment there was nothing. Black. It took a short while for us. Gee, I thought he may, swung at her by mistake. She raised her weapon up and guarded her head as the sights and sound faded back to her. Oh, okay. She couldn't answer. Sophie. Her breath returned. Go. She knew she was speaking nonsense. Warm blood pooled at the edge of her temple and trickled down her face. Vincent let another primal hound struck the beast's chest with his shiv, and Sophie could hear the tearing cracking of tough cartilage under the blade. Without delay, the creature raised one of its stilts and jutted it outwards, connecting forcefully with Vincent's chest. Vincent could not compete with the display of power. His hand was forced from the makeshift hilt, leaving the shard wedged in the beast's chest. He collapsed to the ground, his torso seething in attempts to find breath. The wheezing that escaped him roused Sophie and filled her with an angered fear that tightened her grip and rebuilt her focus. Her eyes did not waver from the monster. Vincent! Vincent, say something so we know. He was silent, but Sophie maintained her stance. The creature tugged itself forward and twitched its steps until its stilts arched themselves over Vincent's body. Sophie, now! With 3 rapid thrusts, Sophie struck the beast's arm with the edge of her weapon. Her last lash cut deep, causing the creature to stomp havenously on the ground beneath it. Vincent, still on his back, covered his head with his forearms, trying to roll his way to safety. Vincent, move! Sophie watched as the beast raised its unharmed appendage high above Vincent's head. It took a moment to steady itself and align its shot. Vincent! It swung. The sound was deafening. Sophie undid herself from the record ball she found herself in. Beside her lay the remains of their enemy. Its skin was pulverized and shredded and was spread across the pavement like a torn blanket. Its exposed bones were scattered and pieces of fat and tendons oozed across the street like pale slugs. Sophie was nauseous, but couldn't bring herself to look away. At the end of the trail remains a piece of flesh sat hovering above the ground, slowly sinking towards as if it was sputtered against a wall. She looked at the direction of the blast. Vincent uncovered his eyes. Math? What? Sophie couldn't rein in her thoughts. Math stood before them, visibly broken and exhausted, his arm extended in a sort of commanding gesture. She followed its path back to the suspended flesh. She stepped over and into the corpse debris. In front of the hovering slab of skin, she reached a hand out and touched the space just above it. It was solid. She pressed harder. It was impenetrable. With a closed fist, she pounded on the invisible blockade, processed it by echoing her punches with hollow metallic squeals. She turned back to look at the others. She wasn't sure why she expected to be met with some sort of comfort or explanation, but she was met with neither. Their faces were stale and shocked. Vincent propped himself up with his hands and their eyes met, complete defeat written on both their faces. Math let out a loud growl and began to make his way to Sophie. I... He walked with a slight limp. Sophie wasn't sure if she should have been scared. What can he do? Math placed a sturdy hand on her shoulder once he was close enough and looked at her with a steady gaze. He pointed at the invisible wall. Sophie gave him space, heading back to Derek and Vincent, and watched as Math peeled the creature's skin from off the barrier. It fell to the ground with a wet splat. Math hoisted his arm upward and slowly brought it towards the wall. Sophie could see his shoulders rising and falling quickly. As his hand reached the barrier, it was not impeded like Sophie's, and instead it fell through. The wall greeting the touch of his body with a sweeter, sonorous whistle. Sweeter. Sophie could see his body seize up. Try it. Math looked at Derek, estranged to him, and nodded. Took a trembling step and was swallowed by flowing fluid, force field that seemed eager to lean through. He sung its metallic song and Math kept his back leg planted on the inside of the barrier family. Holy shit. Wow. Sophie approached the wall once again and rested the palm of her hand against its surface. Math? Her voice fluttered. He nodded to her. She responded in a sharp, urgent whisper. How did you do that? And there we go. So, yeah, they might be making another, another episode. Oh, maybe not. Coming soon. I don't think it has. Because I looked. And that was Elsewhere High Chapter 2. I don't know, everyone. Don't get me wrong, it's well written, but it kind of feels drawn out. I don't know why. I mean, I love character development, but I feel like we're not getting a lot of... I mean, we're learning what the characters are, but we're not learning the, how would I put it, the aim. I mean, we've got this creature that we've only seen at the end of both chapters, and this guy, Matthias, I think is pronounced his name, he's got these powers, but I want to learn more about that. So when chapter 3 comes out, I might not, because my voice is quite sore right now. I mean, I don't have to speak, but I feel like I like to read through it. But I might just record it without a voice. I might just play it because, yeah, I don't know. I'm not really feeling it, but I'm happy to have played it because it has got a good story. But yeah, I just want to know more about these powers in this creature. But anyway, that's Elsewhere High Chapter 2. I'm positive I haven't seen Chapter 3, but if it is out, I'll record it, and I probably won't do it. I'll see what happens, really. Because I don't know. I can't really think. But anyway, on to the next game.